Hi everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. In today's webinar, we're going to look at the shipping rules feature in Selro. So there are two options when you set up your shipping rules. You can either set global rules or you can set shipping rules at the product level. So in our demonstration, first we're going to look at the global shipping rules in Selro. To create these, you just need to go to shipping and then shipping rules. So from this page you can create multiple rules. To create a new rule, you just need to click on add rule here, and from here you can see the conditions you can set for each of your rules. So they can be based on the weight and dimensions of the order, the value of the order, or the channel the order was placed from, and so on. And then once you've put in these parameters, you can then select the shipping courier, the service, and the service format you want to be applied to the orders. So you just need to make sure you've set up your shipping couriers first. Once you've done that, you'll be able to select your shipping courier from the list and the service and so forth. You can also create folders and processing queues and have your orders automatically assigned to these queues and folders when they import into Selro if you want to. The shipping folders and processing queues are slightly different. So the folders, these will appear under the Open Orders tab. So you'll have a filter here called Folder. So if you assign your orders to a particular folder, they will still show under the Unshipped Orders tab, but you can then use this filter to search for particular orders. Now if you assign your orders to a processing queue, then any order that comes into Selro that meets the criteria set will automatically go into the Processing Orders tab. And then from here you can filter by the processing queues that you've set up. Now, if you've created multiple rules, then whichever rule you've created first will take precedence. So in this example, test rule merges would take precedence first, and then rule name, and then this rule next. So if an order imports into Selro and that order fits into multiple rules that you've set, then the rule at the top of the list, so test rule merges, that would be applied to the order. You can change the priority of your rules, so you can number the rules using the rule priority field. So you could say 1, 2, and then 3 at the top. And then obviously this rule will take precedence, so this would be applied first. If the order didn't fit into this rule, it would check the second rule. If it didn't fit into this rule, then it checks the third rule, and then obviously if the order falls into that third rule, this rule will be applied. Okay, so now we're going to demonstrate how these rules would work. So if we edit our first rule, rule name 1, what we're going to do is put in some values here. So you can select the shipping code destination, so where the parcel is being sent to, so that can be one of the parameters of the rules. You can put in the shipping postcode, again these are the destination postcodes of where your parcel is being sent, and you can use comma separated, so you can put multiple postcodes in if you wanted to. You can also put in the sales channel shipping service. This will be the shipping service that you have in your marketplace. So if you want to use this field, please do make sure you copy and paste exactly how that shipping service appears in your marketplace into this field. And again, you can use comma separated shipping services, so if you want to put multiple in the same rule you can. You can also apply the rule based on the channel. So in our example, I am going to pick telesales. We are going to create a test order in the system. It can be based on the order value, so that could be between £5 and £500. The shipping charge I'll put between 0 and 10. The weight again between 0 and 1000 grams. The length 5 to 10 centimeters. The width again I'll put 5 to 10 centimeters. The height will do 2 to 5 centimeters. And then once you've populated all of this, you can then decide what your rule actions will be. So you can select the shipping carrier. Then if you click on the edit button here, you can select the shipping service you want to use, and then you can also do the same for the service format you want to pick. Now you can then either choose to have this order assigned to a folder or assigned to a processing queue, and as we mentioned earlier, if you assign it to a folder, this will still show under the unshipped orders tab. If you assign it to a processing queue, it will take it out of the unshipped orders tab into the processing orders tab, and you'll be able to filter by the queue there. So I'm going to select assign to a processing queue, and we're going to send that to new supplier. Now when you are creating your rules, always make sure any changes do click save. Okay, now that we've set this up, I'm going to check one of my products just to make sure that all of this information is populated. So if you go into your inventory and listings, what you want to make sure is, if you are basing the rules on the weight and dimensions, that you do have the weight and dimension information populated for each of your products. So you can check that by editing the product and coming to the shipping tab. Now we can cross-check this with the rule that I have set up. So the order value has to be between £5 and £500. So we can see the price is £25.99, so that will fall between those rules. Now the weight is going to be between 0 and 1000 grams. So we've got 50 grams, so that will fall between the rules. The length has to be between 5 and 10 centimeters. And at the minute I don't have anything in length, so I'm going to add the number 6 here. Next, the width to apply this rule has to be between 5 and 10 centimeters. So again, I'm going to make sure that we have the width in here. Again, I'll put 6 centimeters. And the height, lastly, has to be between 2 to 5 centimeters. Again, we don't have anything in this field, so to make sure this rule will be applied, I'm going to put in 3 centimeters here. Now I'm going to click save, and we are going to create an order based on this SKU reference. So I'm going to create it as a telesales order. And then need to pop in the customer information, make sure the address is populated, and then we'll create the order based on this SKU reference. And the shipping charge is between £0 and £10. So I can put a shipping charge of £2 in here, and we'll create that order. Now that order has been created, so if we go into our processing orders queue, and then you will see that order here under new supplier, which is the processing queue we've assigned it to. So again, under the processing orders, obviously when your orders are coming through, you'll probably have quite a lot maybe going into different folders, so you can use this filter here to help break that down. And when a shipping rule has been applied, you'll see this line here with a green tick just to show that is working. And when you go to create your order based on that shipping rule, you'll see the shipping method will be applied, the weight and dimensions will all be populated. If you had selected a format in the shipping rules, obviously that would be added as well. Even if you have used shipping rules to populate all this information and you've got the item weight and dimensions set at the product level, you can come in here and override all of this information if you want to. You would then continue the process through to create the labels and confirm shipment. Now, if you wanted to create shipping rules at the product level rather than at the general global level, you can do that from the inventory. So we're going to use a different product this time. And if we go to the shipping tab, if you scroll down, you'll see this section here, the product level shipping rules. So here you can enter the quantity sold, so you can either enter a physical number like 1, 5, 9, or you could say greater than 1 or greater than 5. But in this example, just to keep it simple, I'm going to put a quantity sold at 1. You can then select the shipping courier you want to use. Once you've selected the carrier, if you click on show, you'll be able to select the domestic shipping method and the international shipping method. And once you've done this, click on save, and you can then enter the package type. And again, just remember, any changes you make, do click save. Now, we are going to create an order based on this SKU reference. And if we go to our unshipped orders tab, again you'll see that shipping rule line here with the tick to show that has been applied, and when we go to create the label with Royal Mail, that information has been pre-populated there. Now it's important to remember, you can set up shipping rules at the product level and also set shipping rules at the global level, but the rules you have set at the global level will take precedence. So if you've got a shipping rule applied to this SKU, but it also fits into a different shipping rule which is sent with a different courier using a different format, then the global rule will be applied rather than the shipping rule at the product level. So just bear that in mind when you are setting up your shipping rules. If you have any questions about setting up your shipping rules in Selro, or you'd like a little bit of support in this process, you can book in an onboarding session. If you click on your username in the top right hand corner and select book an onboarding session, you can select a 30-minute time slot with a member of our team and we can give you a bit of help with this process. Or if you've got any questions, as always, please do feel free to contact our support team at support@selro.com. Thank you very much for joining our webinar, and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.